Hey y'all. Hey everybody. Before we go ahead and get started, I see I already have people in here dropping the green heart emojis. Y'all just make me feel so loved. Y'all just make me feel so sweet. So go ahead and let me know where you are watching from. Let me move this mic out the way. Can y'all hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me too, because I got this new like huge mic and I don't know if it sounds crazy or what, but go ahead and let me know where you are watching from and if you can hear me. From Philly. Philly. I love me some Philly. I love the culture. I love the buildings. I love the way it looks there. Oh, everything popping in on that one. Chicago. Yes, Taste of Chicago. I love Chicago too. New York. What part of New York? I'm excited. Starbucks lover. Y'all know I love me some Brooklyn. Hello, Brooklyn. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let me mute it. Let me mute it. All right, y'all. I apologize. That's my person that's supposed to be on my live with me. I don't know if she's gonna be able to make it on, y'all. I don't know if she's gonna be able to make it on, but guess what? We still gonna go on without her because one person don't stop the show. All y'all ain't here for me. All y'all here with me. So, New Jersey, Florida, abundantly blessed. What part of Florida are you from? I've been to New Jersey, the Garden City. I've been to Florida. Okay, OCW, ain't seen you in a minute, girl. When you back, girl? We said that last time. Like OCW ain't been here in a minute. She said, "I work trying to catch the love." Where you coming from? The Bronx? Okay, I never been to the Bronx. I've been to Manhattan. I've been to Harlem. I've been to Brooklyn. I've been to not Queens, not the Bronx, not Staten Island, not Long Island. But I want to go to Coney Island. Hey y'all, so I appreciate y'all joining into this live. So I was supposed to have a recruiter on, and as you can see, it's just me. So I apologize for the people that joined that were wanting to speak to the recruiter and ask the recruiter questions. I really, really wanted to have like a bomb live for y'all tonight. Like I even moved my live to Sunday night, but it's okay because we still on here and I still want to talk to y'all. Is that New Mexico? NM? Newark? I never been to New. I have been to Newark to the airport. Um, but yeah, so I was gonna talk to the recruiter, ask the recruiter, have you all ask the recruiter your questions, especially about basic training. I know Marine basic training is probably like I think they call theirs boot camp, and it's probably like I'm not even gonna lie, y'all. Marine boot camp is hardcore. Like Marines, period, is hardcore. Anybody that's interested in joining the Marines, baby, I put my hats off to you because I'm not even gonna try it. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm not gonna try it. And I was never gonna try it. I actually have a cousin that was in the Marines when I joined the military and he was a sniper. And my auntie was like, "You should join the Marines." And I was like, that ain't for me. Oh, she said she gonna join us, y'all. She said she gonna join us. So we're gonna have her on in a minute. But I appreciate y'all joining the live. Let me go ahead and do my spiel. So hey everybody, it's Army Princess here and welcome back to the channel. For those of you all watching me for the very first time, I'm Army Princess, U.S. Army soldier. I've been in the military for over 10 years now, and I love to share my experiences with you all to help you all become the best service members you can be. Whatever branch you're interested in, I'm here to help y'all be the best y'all can be. And actually today, I just recorded a video for Vlogmas. So I try to do Vlogmas every single year. For the people who don't know, just wait till December because I'm not even going to try to explain what Vlogmas is. But I'm not going to be able to do like Vlogmas per se, but I'm going to give y'all the 12 days of Christmas. So I already started recording for the 12 days of Christmas. Make sure y'all go ahead and share this content. Make sure y'all go ahead and hit the like button for your girl because it's free. And be ready for Vlogmas. Be ready for Vlogmas, number one, and be ready for Black Friday weekend, but we going to call it Green Friday. If you follow me on Instagram, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in here. Army Princess Collection. Oh, I think I got her in here. Go ahead and follow me, y'all. Okay, I'm going to let her in. Hey! Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can't hear you. I don't know if you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
No, I can't hear you.
That's weird.
So while we see if maybe it's just me. Let me see. It might be me. That's why I be needing to do a sound check. Hold on. Because my phone updated. I got some new stuff going on my phone. So let me see. Maybe it's me. I need to call my IT person in. Can y'all hear her? Oh, they said they can hear. We can hear. I can hear. So it's just me. So
okay.
Let me see if I could get my IT person in. Somebody said I should do more day in a life videos.
Dana.
Can you see the comments?
Mm-mm.
No. It's so it's a feature that you have to turn on where you can see like the people that's commenting, because we got like 12 people right now, and there are people that are commenting, people that said that they can hear you. Let me see.
I see the comments. Can you hear me? No. Let me see if I can comment.
Hold on. Since they can hear you, can you go ahead and introduce yourself? I guess I just won't be able to hear, but that's all right. Everybody else can hear. Go ahead and introduce yourself and where you from, what you do, what your job is, and how long you've been in the military.
Let me see.
Hello.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you on my phone, but I can't hear you. I can't hear you through the app. I'm muted.
I got you on my phone.
It's on my. Oh, okay, let me just turn it on. I don't like that. Okay.
You good? So don't let these two touch. Okay.
I hear.
Don't let these two touch.
Okay, was it touching?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I can hear you now. Sorry.
Okay. So my name is Tatiana. So you're just wanting me to explain like where I am now and stuff like that, right?
Okay. Yeah, where you stationed at, what your job is, how long you been in.
So I've been in the Marine Corps for 6 years.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually originally from Detroit, Michigan. So where I'm stationed now isn't on an actual base. So right now I'm in Fort Wayne, Indiana, recruiting. So that's a fun gig. But so my original job that I was in is called a combat engineer. And I'll just like to boil it down to like being basically like two things, right? So construction and demolition. Right, because there is so much in the job and there's so much to learn about the job that I always just boil it down to those two things because ultimately they can go into those two categories.
Okay.
So I came from Detroit and went to
Michigan. I'm from Michigan too.
I went to South Carolina first. That's Parris Island. So that's where I actually became a Marine. And then from South Carolina to North Carolina, that's also like further on training. And then where I learned my job for being an engineer. And then I actually ended up getting stationed in North Carolina. So I was there for most of my time in a unit called 8th Engineer Support Battalion. And then from there, I ended up going to recruiting.
Oh, okay. That's kind of cool. So what made you choose Marine?
Why did I choose Marines? So there's so many reasons. Ultimately, I did want to be in the military, and I knew that. So I was in Army ROTC in my school. So I originally went to Lewis Cass Technical High School in Detroit.
Okay, Cass Tech. We
So
played the band there.
Really nice. The band was amazing there too. Let's see. The reason I chose Marines, so I was there. I was in the Army JROTC there. I loved it, but then also felt kind of like, oh well, you know, I can be more challenged. So it was tough for me, but it wasn't at the same time. So I was just like, okay, well, I kind of want something that's going to be more challenging for me. And then, I met my recruiters when I was like, I want to say I met my recruiters at 16, and I met all the other recruiters too. So a lot of my decision, I want to say, was based on the people that I met and like how I felt about them. So like when I saw them compared to when I saw the Army compared to, never seen any of the other branches. So so it was just like, okay. And then I actually worked out with them and everything else. And I felt like they were really a challenge for me. So I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and give it a shot. So by 17 is when I signed up. And then that was it. Really, is just more so. I guess the biggest thing was the fact that I wanted that challenge, and I felt like the Marines was really going to be where I could go to actually get it.
Wow. That's a good story because, girl, let me tell you, my hat off to you, because my cousin was in the Marines when I joined the Army, and my auntie was like, "You should join the Marines." I was like, "Ain't no way in the world I would have joined if I had to join the Marines." No, ma'am. But that's crazy. That's good though. I'm glad you had a good experience. I guess you had good people to look up to that influenced you into the Marines. So that's awesome.
I never had any family in the military or anything like that. So like I really didn't have a big background or baseline to like even decide to go.
Yeah.
So like I was the first person in the military from what I knew in my entire family that has ever gone into the military. So it was like definitely different.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's good though. So I know that you're a recruiter. You told us you're a recruiter. And so a lot of my subscribers and my followers on my YouTube channel are people that are interested in joining the military. So that's kind of like how I started my channel. Was I you know, I was in, well, I'm still in, but I was in, and at the time I had nobody really to look up to, nobody to ask the questions to. So I decided to start like a YouTube channel to help other females that are interested in joining the military. And so I kind of geared my channel towards that. And I try to bring different people on to answer a lot of their questions. And the biggest thing right now is like getting physically fit for basic training. I think y'all call it boot camp in the Marines. Oh, it's basic training too?
So it's called recruit training.
Oh, okay. So, and I'm not even gonna compare Army to the Marines at all. Like, I ain't even gonna try. But for the people that are like interested in just joining the military, period, and when you being a recruiter, what's some advice that you would give, especially females that are trying to get like physically in shape to go?
Right. So ultimately, when it comes down to it, you just have to have a good baseline. So if you start, researching exercises, how to properly, move your body and things like that, or if you already are within a good height and weight standard, then it's pretty much from there is us working with you to get you where you need to be. Because what a lot of people don't know is that we actually train you guys and help you guys out. Now, the only thing we can't do is be there with you every single day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something where you're going to have your own commitment to be able to keep pushing through and go to the gym or go work out at all, even if it's just, a 5 to 30 minute workout a day, forcing yourself to do it. So if you get into that mindset to, okay, well, I can't give up. If this is really what you want, then you are going to have to push to get it. But if you get into that mindset, that's pretty much the biggest thing that we need is your assistance. So if you never played a sport in your life, you don't even know how to run, like you never really run before, then that's something that you want to start getting prepared to do. Because in the Marines, the start qualification for you to even go is being able to run a mile and a half, being able to do crunches. And so crunches with us are a little different. They're not like sit-ups, they're like actual crunches where you're grabbing your friggin' biceps and your arms are flat on your chest, and you're literally just going from shoulder blade to both arms touching to shoulder blade. And then that's it. And that's all the only motion you have. And it's really easy if you start learning the technique. Mm-hmm. So with a lot of stuff in the Marines, like they actually have it online to where they'll tell you techniques to do stuff and stuff like that. All you got to do is research it. That's what a lot of people don't do. So so you have to be able to do the mile and a half, the crunches, pull-ups or push-ups. So right now, it's not mandatory that you do pull-ups. Yes, we absolutely would love if you already came in doing pull-ups. But if you started out and you can only do, 30 push-ups, cool, well, we'll still work with you. But you just have to put in the time and the effort. Because that's something that can easily be worked on by yourself to get more pull-ups or push-ups, because a lot of people don't have pull-ups. I have like my own pull-up bar at home. You can hook it up to a door, that type of thing, and those only cost like $20. Like it's really not too expensive for real, and you can start training your body to do it, because with any and everything, the only way you're going to get better at anything is if you're doing it.
Yeah, practicing. Yeah.
So
that's what I'm trying to work on too, because we got to do pull-ups now for our PT test. And I hate it. But like today I was at work because I had to work today, and I have like that doorway pull-up bar, and I just get up there with my little straps and I'm trying to do my pull-ups.
And that's all you gotta do. Like we will destroy everyone in PT every single time they come. So we only have PT one time a week. So PT, physical training, right? We only have it one time a week for real.
So do y'all have it like you have it at the recruiting station, or okay, that's cool.
And we also have weights and stuff like that, so we can start getting your body prepped and getting you ready to actually be able to go. Because even if you stay in and you're here for the entire time. If you're not physically ready, we can't send you. You can't go to recruit training.
Oh wow. So that's like different from the Army.
You
The Army, like
have
some
to
people
pass.
they don't even work out with their recruiter, like at all. Like you get to reception and then you have to take that first PT test and then you just there, like, especially now with this new PT test. I know, like, I worked out with my recruiter, but that's just because he was really nice and he liked me. But it's not like something that you have to do in order to lead to go to basic training.
Yes.
But that's cool that y'all have that program. So.
Yeah, and it's definitely awesome that we do. I know I even worked out with my recruiters and stuff, and that's really a big thing that pushed me towards them even more, was that they were working out with us and they were training us and teaching us how to do stuff already before we even got in. So
Okay. That's cool. Do you have any suggestions for people taking an ASVAB? That's like one of my biggest comments is the ASVAB. And I'm like, I went to school like so long ago. I took the ASVAB so long ago, but I like did ASVAB for dummies and all those books and the practice tests online. So what's your tips for ASVAB?
I ultimately, like, it's just learn the basics.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is really the biggest thing that you need to know. Learn long division. I can't tell you how many people will come into my office and just expect that they're just gonna be in. They expect that, no matter what they went through, they're gonna be able to serve. No, it doesn't work like that, honey. I'm sorry. But they'll come in and they don't even know long division.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, if you can't even do that, that is like a very simple, that was one of the things you learn in middle school, maybe elementary school. So like you learn that early on.
Yeah.
Everything that you need to know for the ASVAB is under a 10th grade level.
Mm-hmm.
So all you have to do is go through, relearn the basics, relearn,
And it's just like basic, like knowing what a word means, word knowledge, paragraph comprehension.
Definitions of a word, like learning word parts. So it's not about learning every word in the dictionary. It's about learning the parts of a word. What is this part of a word really mean? Like non or this or whatever, like word parts. So like if you learn word parts, it will start figuring out how to define a word without ever seeing it. So like learning,
that's a good way to put it,
like that. So you have to have a lot of the basics, and that's where a lot of kids are messed up, is that they don't know that. They don't know how to multiply without a calculator. They don't know how to divide without a calculator. And sorry, but you cannot use a calculator on the ASVAB.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of the times, I'll tell you, it's not even word problems or not necessarily word problems, but like words. It's more so math. And the lack of knowledge of what they're supposed to be doing in simple math. And like, so anytime that a kid comes in, sometimes I would just literally be like, all right, well, solve this problem before they even get on the test, just to see like, what am I expecting here? And then I'd be like, okay, well, test is going to take as long as you want it to take, and make them get on the practice, and then they'd be like, well, I already know what to expect, so I'm not gonna, but it's like a lot of the times that's not something that they even know.
So do you all suggest any like websites or any books or anything to people that are struggling?
I typically do. However, I don't want to like push it out there like I'm advertising it or I'm getting paid by them or anything. But I always suggest that you just Google it. You literally can Google everything.
Yeah.
You don't really even have to pay for anything to learn the basics of something.
Because they have a lot of free practice tests on Google.
Yes, they do. A lot of free practice tests. They have a lot of things, a lot of ways that they're going to explain how to do things and stuff like that. So like, it's really not even anything to where you have to go to one website and it's the be all end all. Like, cause I know a website that you have to pay about $49. I don't know of any other ones that are like it though. she'll go on there and explain how to do the problem. I think she was from like the Air Force. But she'll go explain how to do the problem. You know, she'll explain the very bare minimum of how to get to the answer for every single thing, and then build it up for you and show you, okay, this is how you do it. And she goes over a lot of the basics. But it's called ASVAB for Success.
Okay. Okay.
But
I would tell people just get the free stuff. At least start with the free stuff and see.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't want you guys to go out there and just start paying all this money, but
somebody said March to Success. I heard of that. March to Success.
March to Success. Yeah. The one that I mostly know is ASVAB for Success.
Okay.
But I see it. Isabella Torres.
Yeah. March to Success.
Torres. I see it now.
Okay, so what's your advice for? I wrote some notes down here. Like, so other questions that I get is people joining at an older age. People joining at an older age, and then people that have kids and want to join, or like, how do you leave? Like, tips for leaving your kids at home. You know, if you have to leave them with family or husband or wife or whatever to join. Any tips for that?
Okay, so let's see. So you said a couple of different questions. So what was the very first one you said?
For joining at an older age.
Older age. Okay. So honestly, I feel like the biggest problem I see with people joining at an older age is the more stuff they rack up that are problems. So that's police involvement, that's injuries that they might have had, that's tattoos.
What's your tattoo rules for the Marines? You can't have any, or
you can definitely have tattoos. It's all about placement.
That's like us.
So like, but with us, with the Marines, it's a little more strict than any other branch. Wow. I've gotten a couple of people who will just come in and think they're good. They're clean. They're perfect. They're physically ready, everything. And they come in and they're like, here's my paperwork. I'm ready. And I'm just like, okay. Do you have any tattoos? And they're like, yeah, I got one right here. And I'm like, well, you're disqualified.
Wow. So you can't have a sleeve?
No.
He said no.
You can have a quarter sleeve.
Oh.
So like
yeah, y'all really strict. Y'all really strict.
Yes. So like if you're wearing a t-shirt, if you can wear a t-shirt and your tattoos are covered, then you're likely good, right? So nothing from, I want to say like this collarbone up, nothing from so like for your wrist, you have one little bone on your wrist that right there, right? So from this bone, it has to be, I want to say 2 inches up. It's either 1 or 2 inches. I can never remember right off the top, but it's like a couple of inches away from this bone, not your wrist, but from this bone. So a lot of people have tattoos that are like inside of that. Well, that if anything, we will have to get a waiver for that. Now, if you can't cover your tattoo with your hand, like completely cover your tattoo with your hand being straight and your fingers being together, if you cannot cover your tattoo, then we have to get a waiver. So if anything that's visible and you can't cover it, it's within, your wrist within 1 inch or 2 inches, it's within your elbow, within a certain distance within your elbow. So it's 1 inch up and 2 inches down. If it's within that needs a waiver too. So like ultimately, if you're really thinking about the military at all, when you get tattoos, I just say, just get them under a t-shirt, if anything. Don't try to get them on your legs or your knee or anything like that. Those are all areas where like that either needs a waiver or you're disqualified. Well, honestly, getting a waiver means you're disqualified.
Yeah.
So it's really, That's really
Yeah, that's kind of like us. We have, I mean, ours is not as strict as that, but I seen people come in with tattoos like on their neck, and that was like back when I came in, because I came in, I think this January is gonna make 14 years I've been in. So like when I came in, you could have them. I think there was still like you couldn't have like big crazy ones, but people had them like on their neck, and I still see people in PT formation with them on their knees and legs. But now they've gotten way more stricter on like where you can have them and how big you can have them. But yeah, like I had one guy, he had the little tear. They made him remove it though. His command made him remove it, but he was already like past basic training. He was already at his duty station. So that was crazy.
But that got too much meaning behind it.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, nah, bro, you don't have to remove that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and if it's something like explicit, you know, that's a problem too.
Yeah, that's same for us.
So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of rules when it comes to that sort of thing. But once you're in, it's like go crazy, but stay within the guidelines and you're fine. I know people who have like 18 tattoos and you can't see one of them unless they took their shirt off. You know, some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you definitely can get them. It's just where you get them.
So, question: has COVID changed like how y'all do? I guess like what do you call it, recruitment training? Because I know we had a lot of changes like in basic training.
So, our biggest change was 2 weeks quarantine.
Okay, that's the same for us.
So, oh well, there's a lot of changes actually, but 2 weeks quarantine was a big one. They can't have even the slightest fever though before they leave. So like, if they're trying to go into the hotel and they got like their temperature is 100.01, they're not leaving.
Oh wow.
So, and even though you quarantine, like you do still quarantine when you get there, but if you get caught with a temperature, you're screwed.
Okay.
So that 2 weeks prior, that's a big thing. So now they're 2 weeks quarantined in a hotel before they go to recruit training, and that's going to be a challenging time for any and everyone.
Yeah,
because you are stuck in that hotel room. You're not leaving out. Your family isn't coming to visit you or anything crazy. You're in a hotel room for 2 weeks.
So do they quarantine when they get there? Like once you get
Yes.
Okay.
So they'll be there quarantining, and then they're like their training isn't too far from the hotel.
Okay.
And then so that's a big change. Now our families can't go and visit for graduation. That's a huge change. So no one is allowed on the base really. And that was, I would say, is the most challenging change for the kids, and then for the parents too, because it's like, dang, I can't even go see them graduate. Like that's a huge event. They can watch it live, but they can't go there in person. So I would say that's the biggest thing that's like challenging to them. And then now they also don't get the opportunity to come home for 10 days after recruit training either. So they're like, one, they can't go to the base because if one person get infected there, it's really a wrap because everybody's going to get infected. And if that spreads, then we might as well look out because that's people coming from all over the country to this one location, and they're in a melting pot of germs with each other. Yeah. So it's just like, that is not something that we want to happen. So yeah, so no one's getting on the base. They just can't trust it. So that's a big thing. Let's see. So the 10 days coming back home, that we're trying to get that back. It's just they're waiting until after all of their training because they go into another training right after recruit training, where they're still together.
Mhm.
So, and then another training for their actual job where they get right back together. So that's just too many people together kind of doing that. So they're trying to get it after that third training, so their actual job training, and get their 10 days to come back home. You used to get it after you graduate. Right after you graduate, you got 10 days to go out with your family. You know, if they're in San Diego, then you can have fun in San Diego for a while, come back home, see your family, kiss, hug, blah, blah, blah. And then go back out to those other two trainings before going to the actual Marines. But that's not, in the cards for right now.
Okay.
So
Wow, that's a lot of changes. It's a lot of them is similar to the Army, because they stopped the graduation. You can watch it live on Facebook. We used to have the 10 days hometown recruiting after, I think it was after AIT though, like after you learn your job. But now you can't go home. You go straight to your first duty station. So yeah, it's a lot of changes that's similar. So I got some people that's asking questions.
Can you hear me? She like paused. Hey, yeah. Hold up. Let me see what's going on. After.
I'm back, y'all. Sorry. The power went out. It's not my fault. It disconnected from the internet, but I'm back.
I was like, she just like completely froze. So, but I think somebody said, "Do everybody get tested?"
I think I saw that question.
Does everyone get tested before going on base for training? Oh, hold up. Oh, okay. No. Everyone don't get tested. The only time they get tested is when they start showing signs or like fever or anything like that, because they all get checked for temperature and stuff like that. But getting a COVID test, no, they don't test it from what I understand. But I'm also not there. A lot of the information that I get about what quarantine is like now and what's going on with my kids are when they graduate and they tell me. So that could easily be something that is left out, but from what I understand, that's not what happens. Because I have had one of my kids test positive for COVID, get sent to quarantine, and get kicked back in training, and then she went back and she was fine. So, but that was the only time really even that one of my kids got it while they're out there. So that's good at least. I have a lot of kids out there right now.
Abundantly Blessed said, are there any pretty women in the Marines? Somebody else said a comment like, I only see Marines as like aggressive and mean, and I know that's not the case. You know what? That's why I was like, I gotta have her on my live, because I don't really see females, period. I mean, of course, yes, I know there are female Marines, but I don't see a lot of females. I don't see a lot of like young African American females, and like from what I see is just like hardcore males. That's the only thing I see when I think of the Marines as well. So you represent for the females.
I mean that's normal. A lot of people don't, because it's not something that's like publicized all the time either.
Hmm.
So even when you see videos, all you see is blood and gore, but we still have jobs that are on a desk and a computer. So
Yeah.
so like it's just what's more shown, or like, even the people that you might have in your life that are likely going to be males. They're
Hmm.
definitely changing that to where they are having influx of females coming in, but so many, even in my job I see it all the time. Everyone wants to go to the Air Force because they think it's easier,
Hmm.
and
I
they're
get
not
that all
afraid
the
of their
time too.
life, and and I'm just like, dude, like, cool, have fun, because the Marines really isn't for everyone. It's
Hmm.
not, and we don't want it to be, because then it'll be just like anywhere else, and we don't want it to
Hmm.
be like that.
So the Marines, let me just so I'm clear, the Marines, do you actually get to pick your job?
So with the way that jobs work, right? So yes, you do pick your job. However, it's all dependent on what you qualify for. If you don't qualify to be an airplane mechanic, you're definitely not
Yeah.
getting the job. So that's where the ASVAB really kicks in. So whereas it's like, you might want to study and take the time to study so you can actually get a good score to qualify for what you want. But it's not always about the mental qualification either, because you actually need to, with some jobs you need to be more physically qualified. So if you're like, oh yeah, I want to go into the infantry, and you can't do a pull-up, well, you might want to look at a different job,
Hmm.
because that's something that you have to be able to do in order to get into the infantry. So, with every job, there's standards for that job. So if you meet those standards and that's the job you want, then we're going to do everything to get you that job. But that's also why you choose about 3 jobs, is
Hmm.
because we don't know that you qualify for that job yet. So we're not going to just get your hopes up on something and you can't even meet the qualifications.
Yeah,
So
that's what I always tell people, to have like at least 3 jobs, because you may not qualify for one may not. I know for Army, sometimes they're not open at the time when you
mhm.
go in there. But I know, I want to say it was like Navy. I think it was Navy, one of them branches where you don't really get to pick. Like you pick kind of, but you still, I know some Navy people where they're medical, but they didn't really specifically pick like lab or radiology or x-ray. Like they just all are corpsmen, and then they kind of like, these people get to be like in the lab and these people get to be in the pharmacy. And I'm like, I wouldn't want that, because if I don't want to see blood, I don't want to have to do that job.
I mean, if you want to go into medical and you don't want to see blood, that's a problem right there. No, but from what I understand about the Navy and the corpsmen, you get to choose which side you're on. Like blue side, green side, because the corpsmen are typically with the Marines.
Hmm.
So they'll be able to pick whether they want to be, blue, like hospital and stuff like that, or like green side, which is with us. So like, I know they have like a lot of different, variations to it. I've had a corpsman who was, delivering babies and, in the hospital, and then he came out with the Marines, and now he's like back in the hospital. So like, I think they get a lot of options, just like anywhere where like you want to be able to travel everywhere, or so like for our monitors, like they do a lot in making sure that we're diverse in our job. So instead of just being in one spot, like me being stuck in North Carolina the whole time, like I'm not gonna just be able to pick to go back to North Carolina.
Hmm.
Like not right now, because I get the option to go to, a completely different base entirely, because that's going to make me more diverse in my job and more equipped to be a better leader for anybody that's coming into me. So I think that's kind of a lot of where it comes from, is that they want that diversity for them to be able to go through a lot of different, options before, whatever,
Mhm.
so they can be more equipped to handle situations.
Okay.
But yeah, but ultimately with jobs and everything, it's really like up to you. Like we'll be like, we don't promise you a job before you leave either. So when it comes to the Marines, a lot of the times we just want you to want to be a Marine, because if you want to be a Marine, then we can work with you with jobs. But if you're just like, oh, well, I just want this job, I just want this job, then it's like a different thing, because it's like, okay, if you just want that job, I mean, it is like weird.
But you do pick, so you pick it before you have it like locked in before you go
No,
to.
no, okay, so you have your job locked in after you get all your options, right? So everyone's going to have a different list of options,
Mhm.
because they're going to qualify for a different amount of things, because somebody might be colorblind. Well, we can't detect everything, your depth perception, whether you're colorblind or not, or anything back here, right? So before you go to the military entrance processing station, we don't choose jobs. After you come from there and we know what you qualify for, we know that you can see 2020 or whatever, then we could give you your full list of jobs and say, okay, this is everything you qualify for. Well, with some people's cases, based on like their scores, well, they don't qualify for a lot of the things that they maybe thought they could. So
Mhm.
it's like that's the only thing that could possibly suck, but that's why you study for the ASVAB, because usually that's where the problem is. It's not necessarily all the time going to be that they can't see you or anything like that, but
Mhm.
it's usually the ASVAB,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's ultimately not about the big score. It's about the little scores on the ASVAB.
Mhm.
So you can come into me saying, "Oh well, I got a 55. I'm good. I passed. I did well." 55 don't qualify you for everything.
Yeah. Because it's a breakdown of the overall score.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that for us, it's about the little scores, and that little scores determine the jobs that you are actually qualified for.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. And a lot of people don't realize that, because people ask me like, what score? I think somebody asked in here like, what score do I need to be this and to be that? And I know
Hmm.
that
It
it's
doesn't work like
yeah,
that,
it doesn't work like that.
and
I
you
think
aren't
we
going
had
to
a
just
question
be
about
able
like
to determine
sniper
it,
and
and
stuff. So,
we can't even
well,
just determine it here either. So it's
mhm.
not we put you on a practice test. Well, looks like you're going to be able to qualify for all of this. No, we can't do that. Like we need the little scores. Even when you're back here, um, you need the that question just threw me off. Even when you're back here, we only get the big score. But when it comes to GEDs, like
Mhm.
you can get memories with the GED. You just have to be able to score a higher score. And even with that, like when it comes to GEDs, you need a higher score on the actual practice, because a lot of times when you have a GED, you don't have the mental capacity to be able to get the higher score. We don't automatically accept GEDs either. So
Mm.
even for my office, we only have three. I think we have 3 slots available for a GED right now. So like we don't get that many slots a year because we don't typically accept GEDs. So
Oh,
there'll
okay.
be some offices that'll just be like, no. And that's because sometimes they don't know starting out that we actually accept them. But ultimately it's because they might not even have the slots available for it. And when it comes to a GED, it's pretty much that's when you really don't get to choose your job for real. Because
Okay.
it's like, okay, well, you have to be ready physically already. You have to be more qualified mentally than the average person coming in, meaning you have to score a minimum over a 50 on the actual ASVAB. So, one, you got to score like over a 50. You have to be what's considered an alpha. You have to already be physically ready and just be ready to go. If you have those qualifications and you just want to be a Marine and all you want to be is a Marine and you just are ready, then by all means jump in, do it. But if you you don't even know what you want to do with your life, and you're just like, well, I'm trying to decide between this. Well, you don't really have that many options,
Mm-hmm.
because it's like, okay, we need you now. All right, you can go.
Yeah.
And whatever job is there, you can get while you're there. And it's just like, so they don't really have as many options as the average person. So make it through school. You know, even get a high school equivalency. I'm pretty sure that's even better than getting a GED. So like, just do what you can to make it through high school the first time, and hopefully,
Yeah,
hopefully you
hopefully.
get it. Let me blow my nose real quick.
All right, y'all. So we at like 50 minutes. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop your questions in the comment section. And then I'm just gonna ask her my question that I ask everybody when I have them on. So number one, if you could pick any job in in the Marines that you could do, what would your dream job be? And then if you could pick any like base, duty assignment, duty station, place where you can get stationed, what's your dream assignment?
Honestly, combat engineer was my dream job.
Okay.
I I think that it is the best job in the Marines. I might be biased, but I think the job is a lot of fun. You get to learn skills that you can actually take with you after. You get to be around, just an amazing group of people. Like engineer community is a good community to be in. That's just that. You know what I'm saying? But with everything you get to do and how much fun you get to have, and it's definitely a great gig. Now I would say, I think Okinawa.
Have you been there?
No.
No.
So I don't know, Cali. I don't know. Like Cali, it is just expensive there.
It probably ain't as bad as living here in the DMV area, because it sucks here in the DC area. It's expensive.
Yeah,
and Quantico sucks.
Yeah, and the traffic over there is
yes, the traffic is horrible.
But I only went there just to visit real quick for a vacation, just to go on vacation while I was in North Carolina. So it was just like, I want to do something. I want to take leave. And then I just went to like Maryland and like chilled over there and like was driving through, and it was just like, this sucks. It like, I'll put it in the GPS to be like, okay, how much time it takes for me to get to this location. And
you
then
go by GPS.
the next morning, and it'd be like 3 hours.
Yes.
It just said 30 minutes.
The traffic is horrible here. I
would not want to be there. I would not want to be there. But I say Okinawa because Marines are tight. Like we have like crazy bonds, and it's just irreplaceable, right? However, from everything that I've heard and seen from Marines that are coming from Oki, it's a different level, like a much greater level than even the average Marines, because over there, Marines are together. Mm-hmm. They are just with themselves. Yeah. So it's like their bond is insane. Everybody know everybody. It's like being in a small town. So I think ultimately my dream location would be Oki because of that community that they have.
Have you ever been stationed overseas? Like anywhere overseas? No. Do y'all have bases like in Germany? The Marines?
I am not sure. I'm pretty sure we have an embassy there, so we have Marines that are there, because Marines are guarding the embassies, but I'm not sure of anything like an actual base there. Now we're typically in like only, I want to say about 5 locations for real, where we have like legit good big bases. Mm-hmm. But no, not from what I'm tracking. There's no base there. But yeah, I don't know. I think that, so like I don't have a dream assignment. Like I do like building, but I also do like demolition, and those are like two separate categories for us. So like we don't build stuff just to blow the stuff up that we build. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's two different categories. I think ultimately being on the support side is still a good gig because you get to build, but you also get to mess with demolition. But building is like your main job when you're on the support side of the house. So just being there is good for me. Like being in the job is good for me. It doesn't matter where it is or what we're doing. But if you love to learn, if you love hard labor and stuff like that, it's a great gig. Like that's what I love, and that's why I end up where I was. But I have been to like Honduras and Guatemala, that sort of thing. And I would say, if anything, like that ended up being my dream. I don't know what you call it, assignment, because it was an amazing time, and I was able to go. We were able to go there. We built schools for the children there, and it was very eye opening to what we have and where we are, as opposed to what they have. And it was just like that was like a blessing pretty much for me. That so being able to be around the kids, they with the language barrier and still being so good with the kids and being able to build the schools and everything like that, that was dope. Like that was a good gig. So I would say like the biggest things that I could have wanted I already got.
Oh, that's good.
Except a cruise. I haven't been on a cruise yet.
Oh, you got to do a cruise.
Yeah. I need to do that. But other than that, no, I said I've been pretty good, pretty great actually here. So like I don't really have a lot of issues or anything crazy. But
okay, I just gotta ask you one more question. I said I wasn't gonna bring it up, but I gotta ask: is this snake thing real? Like the snake and the blood thing, in like y'all training? You know what I'm talking about? What is that about?
That's not for average training.
Oh, okay.
No,
like that's not like everybody don't go through that. That's not like the.
No.
Oh, okay.
I want to say it's Recon that does that. Is it Recon or is it Mars?
I just recently seen like some articles and they had like all these people with the blood and they had the snake and it was like females out there and I'm like, is that part of their basic training? Like I'm glad I didn't join.
No, we don't do anything crazy like that. I mean,
okay.
We do, but it's all on where you go.
Okay.
So, and it's obviously a choice. It's not like you have to do this. There's nothing that's really truly like that. So yeah, no, I've never had to do that craziness. I mean, we have killed the snake before, but that was that was something different. That was just in our bivouac area.
Oh, okay.
It's like it had to go.
Yeah, you had to do it. You kind of had to do it.
It was like crawling under somebody's tent or something. And we was like, no, can't do that. But no, other than that, like no snake events or anything crazy like that.
I've seen it like a couple times. I'm like, I would not be able to do that. Like, what are they doing with this snake and this blood?
No.
And it looked like they was enjoying it.
Oh yeah. It's like a ritual or something. Yeah, it's something to where it's like, yeah, no, not me, fam. Not me. Nah, I haven't had to do anything like that.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and end the live, y'all. I appreciate y'all joining me and joining in. Go ahead and stay on. But I'm going to go ahead and end it here.